And the screen will be coming on here in just a minute. So again, it was just the table, chapter 5, the NFL table that we worked on from Thursday, and we'll finish that up today. There wasn't really, I want to make sure I went over everything on, oh, I think we needed to go over some of the cell functions. That should be coming on here in just a minute. So again, you need to be inside a cell, and double clicking inside the cell means you're in the table itself. Otherwise, remember, there's a frame around the table. The frame can actually be larger than the table itself, so as in here. So to make changes to your table, again, you need to double click or be inside the table itself. Just for reviewing, you know, we inserted the table there, then with your table itself, so once you have your table area designated, we set up a header row, and the header row repeats as you change page to page, add pages. We added about 10 NFL teams or 9 NFL teams, something like that. You can always increase the columns, increase the rows here. There's also a footer row that would be similar to the header row that would repeat whatever you had. The table border, so again, you want to make sure that preview is on. That's your checkbox down at the lower left-hand corner there. So if I want to change my table border itself, I can change the stroke of that. I can change the color. I can change the type to dashed, which means I get the gap. Remember the paper gap color or a different color. Tinting for the color and your gap color. So that's again for the table itself. There's also table spacing before and table spacing after. Remember how paragraph spacing works? So you can increase spacing after, for example, and with one enter key that adds space. So again, how that works, if I wanted to place text, so I'll say okay to this. And on page, so at the very end here, I actually have some extra space there. So should be able to click, I think. I don't know if I can get after that. Sometimes it's really hard to get after the table with text. Yeah. Okay, this is really not behaving today. Because that's new type. It would need to be in this same box. Whoop. Oh, there we go, finally. So you should hopefully, and you might have to pull this out a little bit. I had to pull it out just to even kind of get in there a little bit. But on your second page, go ahead and just, if you can, I kind of had to struggle with that. But then with your T tool, you can either use that or just double click within at the very bottom there. And I had to make it larger than I kind of thought I had to click in there. But hopefully get some type that's at the very bottom of this, and just to demonstrate what the spacing after is. So if I have more information here, it could be that I've got reference information, you know, asterisks or something that I need to describe below. So I can again go to table, and then my table options, I need to be in the table itself. So again, click somewhere in the table, table options, table setup. And again, once I'm in the table, I can get my spacing after commands or function on, again, table setup, so the very first box there. Then you can go ahead and just click that. So click to increase it, and you can see that it pops down there. So You have control of spacing before the table if you've got identifying information, and spacing after the table if you've got, again, descriptive or identifying or some type of information. So that's available to you. Let's see what's else. So again, just go ahead and be in your table somewhere. So alternating rows and strokes, there's, again, with the preview on, and we can, undo these, but we can add a stroke to every other row that's weight of 6 points so that you can really see it. So I'm just kind of adding some garbage stuff here. Every other row, I can go every second row, something like that. We'll go every other row. Column strokes, again, the same thing, so I can do the same thing vertically. And maybe I want every second column for whatever reason, and I'll go with that same large stroke so that you can see that. I'll change all that stuff later. Fills, same thing here. I can go every other row. I can skip the first row if I want to, or skip the last row. My color happens to be black at 20% by default. You can adjust that to something different. And then headers or footers. So we've identified our header row already, and we can add, again, there's other places to do this. And every text column, so same thing there. So if you want to go ahead and cancel what we just did, then we're kind of back to where we had that basic table there. So same thing can be done with cell options. So I can go to Table, Cell Options, Text, and again, with preview checked on, only in my New England cell, I can change the insets. I can change the alignment to align it vertically at the bottom. So I can select a whole row or a whole column and do exactly the same thing. So I'm just in one right there. Center align. Insets, let's see, graphic, I can change the insets for a graphic, so we've got graphic there. And there's other ways to do that, so actually we can click on that one here in just a minute. Strokes and fills, we kind of practiced a little bit with that. But again, I'm only on one cell there, but if I wanted 4 points and maybe I want, that same kind of strange color with the type of dashed, and maybe my gap color the same yellow for whatever reason, and I might need to apply it so it's not applying it to the top, but it could be because let's see, I might have to do that another way. Should be able to. Strokes and fills. I don't know why that's not applying at the top. It should. We can set heights for column widths, and then you can add diagonal lines if cells, especially where maybe some financial information is or where information should not be filled out, you might want to put an X on something, and again, you can do different lines and styles and such. That is kind of odd on my line right there. So only when those come up. So let me see here, but then I wouldn't want the whole thing. So it looks like only blocks is when you get the choice up in your control bar at the top there. Anyway, so format is exactly the same, as text. Your paragraph formats, you can control your line styles in blocks at the top. I can fill, so if I wanted you know, all of the background color to be, say, black. I can choose the column area and fill it with a color, say black. Remember, the graphics are kind of goofy because we're getting them online and they really are not transparent in the background there as it might look to be. And to get this centered within the cell, you know, sometimes you have to click in the cell and then I can choose to center left or right. You may have to center, you know, vertically as well, but if you wanted to have space around it, and then you can also do some inset space around your graphic or make the graphic smaller. So any of those, you know, methods to change that. Anyway.
How did you make that row black again?
If you just, so again, if you click inside your column, if you wanted the whole column, I can use the pointing arrow, so that's everything that would be black. But if you want to just click and drag a grouping, I can highlight just a few at once or however much. And then on my couple of different areas I can go, but my fill area, I can click the little guy there and choose a color. And also then table and cell options, strokes and fills, and I should be able to fill here too with what I have. So, but easy when it's on your control palette as well. Okay, so that's pretty much, I think, the basics with, and it works a whole lot like Microsoft Word. Merging and splitting, so that works exactly like Microsoft Word. If you click and drag two together, again, you can right mouse click. I can split my cells. I can, you know, vertically, horizontally. I can merge the two together. I wouldn't want to do that with these, but it's exactly the same thing as Microsoft Word. So easy to do. And again, she's got a really good example on page 107, and I think we kind of went through this on Thursday, that you can set something up in, you know, table format, and the default is to have cell strokes, you know, so you see the lines and such, but then you can remove the lines and it looks like you spent a lot of time to format something in a very, you know, systematic and unified manner. So your assignment for this, and I need to go to Moodle. There's a little picture on Moodle to help you out. There's some in the book, or one picture in the book too, but I did add it to Moodle because I figured it would be easier. Whoops, I just go there and there, and something there. And I'll just display the class out. Okay, and it is in, so the November 11 through 17 week, as far as, and we'll upload our table here in just a minute, but there's non-designers favorites table example and instructions, page 108. So I'll open that one. That's exactly what's in the book, but you'll create, and we'll go through the instructions too that I have posted, but you'll create some sort of a little table, approximately 7 rows by 4 columns. And it's something that you love. It could be bands, it could be artwork. Don't do kids because you can't rank your kids 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But you know, a lot of students do bands or food, hamburgers, type of food, something like that. So if you look at this, so she's got, you know, something that's different around the stroke of the table. So she used dots. You can use something else like the gap color that we used. As far as the name, so this is the name of the dog, and what she did here, so it's a right aligned, you can see where everything, it's in a different type style too, by the way, and you can choose, you're free to choose your type styles. They do not have to match the example here. But she's center vertically aligned within the cell. It's quite large type. And she's right aligned, but the inset right has been set off. You know how if you right align something, it's going to push right up to that cell edge and the stroke is going to be too close. So she's added some space there. Okay, so that'll be an inset at the right that you'll push away. And then she's got evenly sized images. So whatever you find, and find them online, you can use Photoshop to crop them, you can crop them in InDesign, whatever you do, but they should be an evenly sized width and height. And if the original image is, you know, tall vertical orientation versus horizontal orientation, again, you don't want to squish them so that they appear out of proportion, but maybe just crop them so that they get to that exact size that you need. And then she has a tiny little, so there's 2 columns that are filled in black, and then she changed her font color to either white or a really light gray. So I think you could get away with a really light gray, something that shows up. And then she's left aligned. And then notice that there isn't any hyphenation. So remember how I've kind of hounded you a little bit about hyphenation. With really little short blocks of type, you want to make sure that you know, size it appropriately so that it's legible, but also shift enter key to force those down. And then I think that's an age of a dog. I mean, I don't know, but so you can rank your favorite foods if you want to. If it's an animal, it could be the age of the animal, whatever you have, flowers, whatever ranking you want to give it. Okay, is that kind of sort of clear on your assignment? Yeah, just so there's, and it's 1 page. So it's sized and formatted for just that 1 page. And I think I have, so a little bit more instruction, but exactly the same thing here. And that first row you'll need to merge. So you know how Microsoft Word, you highlight 1 whole row there, and then you can right mouse click merge and the whole thing becomes 1 cell. And then she's centered that type within the cell. So that's exactly merge. She doesn't have any splitting going on here, so I don't think that there's, you know, split functions that you're going to need to do. And I think that's pretty much the shift enter key, you know, with forcing where you want the type to be, watching your hyphenation, the content. So the images appear centered. So there's strong alignment with the images. They're sized the same and they're aligned. So, and then the type on the left column, the names of the dogs. And then, so let's go ahead and save the favorites table. And again, whatever colors you have, whatever you did here. Oh, we should probably put your name on it, huh? Why don't you put, instead of Bill, or maybe we can just add your name with Bill. So you can be the coach for the New England Patriots as well. You might do as well. I'm kidding. Bill Belichick's, I think, a really good coach. Probably one of the better ones ever. Anybody watch that game last night? That was pretty exciting. Yeah, so your name is in there somewhere. Okay, so save that. And then we'll upload it to Moodle. And that's the assignment in class, chapter 5, little 5-pointer. Okay,